Congresswoman, none of this matters unless there's a nuclear war, which you voted to send arms and weapons to Ukraine. Tulsi Gabbard, she's left the Democratic Party because they're a bunch of war hawks. Okay? You originally voted, you ran as an outsider, yet you've been voting to start this war in Ukraine. You're voting to start a thermonuclear war with Russia and China. Why are you playing with the lives of American citizens? You're playing with our lives.
Several days later. Sorry about that, foreigners. So AOC, it's been a rather tumultuous few days for the bug-eyed jackass. She got chewed out a few days ago by protesters at a town hall, and now this. By the way, I'll post a link down below. V did a really good video breaking down the protests, saying they were professional protesters, and he goes over the language that they use, their etiquette, where they were positioned in the hall. It's a really good video, so do check it out. Now we have this latest one, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't have the first freaking clue about what the hell is going on in this video. It's a bunch of rather off-looking New Yorkers, no offense, which clearly makes AOC uncomfortable. A lot of yelling. I mean, there was a crowd of people against her, 2 or 3 women of color in favor of her, bizarrely. Naturally then, their ignorant asses were the loudest. Her dancing like a twat to people chanting with bongo drums that she has to go, slipping out when the lights go off, then coming back in. It's hopelessly chaotic, no order, no professionalism. Well, AOC is at the front of the room, so there's no surprises there. But there is this element of juvenile delinquency about her, this atmosphere of infantilism that surrounds her. The fact that someone like her has public approval in any capacity is deeply embarrassing to me, on a human level. But all things considered, this situation she found herself in was damn near inevitable. The reason being is AOC is a product of a time period. If you look at her, there is nothing special about her. Well, at least not in the positive sense anyway. Her only assets are her youth and her tits. That's it. And those lackluster assets are only worth something in the realm of the political apparatus. Outside of it, they'd be rather worthless. She's whiny as all hell, she isn't a good public speaker, and she's incredibly stupid. She's an actress playing the role, badly, of a congresswoman. She has no political accomplishments at all. She doesn't know the first thing about politics. She's nothing but a cheap attention-seeking whore, plain and simple. But it is a curious observation with regards to perception versus reality when 2 worlds collide, in this case the digital sphere versus the real world. I know we like to take shots at AOC, Lord knows every time she opens her mouth she says something that's worthy of endless ridicule, but I find her character fascinating. Not her personality, and there isn't anything there. I mean her character as a creation of the machine. I can't recall the guest on the Modern Wisdom podcast who said socialism is the fastest way for the stupid people to get access to power, and for all of AOC's dim-witted narcissism, that part she's played well. But here's the kicker. In a world that spawned her, its interaction with her is condensed to the short and the punchy, which is done deliberately to limit her flaws, much like Twitter's character limit. It's also a very fitting analogy for her brain capacity, even though what she says on Twitter is highly edited and pre-planned because she sounds much more erudite on Twitter than when she speaks, and that's part of the facade. See, if you judge her influence, such as it is, in this particular sphere, the digital one, she looks rather impressive because you are using the metrics of that particular realm only, in this case her follower count, which we now know is boosted by Twitter's algorithm as well as endless horde of bots. Looking at the video, the former one, which took place in her own district, mind you, she could hardly scramble a handful of people despite millions of followers on Twitter, which would lead one to the logical conclusion her popularity is entirely fictional, and almost all of the support that has even a touch of authenticity is from outside of her district and not afflicted by her endless stupidity. But this is something to keep in mind with this simple-minded pleb. There's a few things that are not responsible, mostly necessary prerequisites for her rise to prominence. The dumbing down of the population, a near non-existent attention span, and the cancer that is social media. But the main condition is good times. See, when Trump was in power, America had none of the problems that it has now. No war in Eastern Europe, no runaway inflation, soaring energy prices, piss-poor job growth, an economy in a recession, border crisis, none of that. So when you have none of those problems, you can say and do all manner of crazy, stupid shit to get attention, which is all her platform was. Radical feminism, minority rights, climate change, all of this utterly vacuous virtue signaling shite. And other idiots will gravitate towards that stuff because they're also devoid of meaning in their own lives and they think she's a pop culture figure. At least in those conditions she can appear to be one. However, now that it's her party in power and she's one of the public figures involved in the Democratic Party civil war that's causing it to hemorrhage public approval with a load of people pissed the hell off, she hasn't the first freaking clue about what to do because she's an imbecile. She didn't sign up for any actual responsibility of any kind. And now some people want to get rid of her because they can see she does nothing for the district, she has nothing to offer, and she doesn't care. Yet she'll probably get reelected in a cakewalk because that's how the system works. As dumb as she is, her constituents are even dumber. Play stupid games and win stupid prizes, and that stupid game in this case is called democracy. Shit it. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.